Hello everyone, I'm back with some more Flesh and Blood gameplay on the Talishar client. Today I'm going to be playing against Dash, which is sort of an interesting matchup. Um, I always board to be aggressive, take out the life gain, take out the D-reacts. Usually dashes are going to be trying to set up items on you and grind you out of the game, so we have to be as aggressive as possible so that they can't get to an endgame state where they're just doing way too much for way too little. Sometimes dashes decide they want to do boost aggro, and all you have to do to beat that is just block as much as possible and they'll run out of deck. So most good dashes aren't really employing that plan. Even if you sideboard for this like aggressive plan, for you employing the aggressive plan, all your 2 blocks and stuff are usually still enough to fatigue out a dash that's trying to boost you. So opening hand's not that great. We're kind of hoping he attacks us, which he does. The pummels are very good, but our hammer wouldn't even be turned on with the Warmonger's Diplomacy. So we'll see how much he really wants to attack us here. Of course, on the first turn, we're just blocking as much damage as possible, as you'll see here. Even blocking with one of our premium pummels. Because sometimes the game can get pretty tight. So every point does matter. You don't want to give up points for free. They won the die roll and went first. Luckily for us, they didn't get to put a second item into play on turn 0. Let me turn this down so you don't hear all them clickings. Oh yeah, this hand's great. We just get to pummel a CNC. Who doesn't love doing that? Maybe if we're lucky, we'll get a defense reaction in Arsenal. And we do. It's very nice for us. Their defense reactions are some of their best cards against us because we're trying to be aggressive, so they can counter a lot of our aggression by just having a reaction in Arsenal. Here we definitely just take all the damage. I like to dominate the Spinal. Sometimes I'll pummel the Spinal, but I want to get armor out of the way first. I want to exhaust his reacts, and having a pummel in Arsenal is perfectly fine too. He even gives us a bit of an overblock here. Not sure why they would do that. They could have probably just held an extra card and only taken 1. Again, as you can see, we're playing quite aggressively. We just want to trade damage. Only ever really blocking when our hand can't do anything that aggressive. Of course, dominating the Starstruck here, just trying to leak through damage, eat up armor so that our dominates late hit. Trying to save that pummel for when we don't have a very aggressive turn. We can at least hammer him for 10 or for a CNC. High octane. Blue T-bone, so we give him the armor that blocks for 1. A lot of times versus Dash, I like to block the T-bones with the tech plating, because once you block with it twice, you can just keep throwing it in front of all future T-bones, but if it's a blue T-bone, I'm not going to overblock for 1 there. He has an interesting line because of high octane. He got to play an item and then still have action points after, so he hits us for 6. Again, I'm not looking to block. I'm looking to trade damage very aggressively, and we have an easy line in Zealous Belting into Chokeslam. Still have a bunch of armor left. He doesn't really have any armor. And hopefully our deck keeps serving us up a couple blues and a red, so we can keep the aggression going. But if not, we have the pummel tucked away for a bad hand. The one sink below in the deck because I wasn't really sure what card I should bring in. I don't have like another attack. It's either Sink Below, Sigil of Solace, or Blessing of Deliverance. So I figured, the Sink blocks for more. And it can maybe like sink a all blue hand into find something more aggressive. With this hand, I'm looking to just pummel the Chokeslam and Arsenal the Crippling Crush. He sets up another item with a bunch of cards behind. Maybe it's kind of a new player. You never really know on Talishar. You play a lot of really good players. You play a lot of not so good players on the client. Even though he overblocked, we're still pummeling just to clear our arsenal for the Crippling Crush, get his last card, leak some damage. Plays another item. I think he might be overcommitting on these items here. I know it's good to get the items into play, but it takes a lot of tempo to play them. It costs you basically your whole turn, and you don't need that many. Normally like 3 items is enough to start pressuring my life total, but at this point I think the life lead's too great for him to ever overcome. Our deck keeps serving us up heat, so we have Aroused the Ancients. We go ahead and arsenal a bad card. We can crown it away if we want. We can maybe pummel it if we want. And in worst case scenario, it's 7 damage instead of 6 from a hammer. Looks like I just crowned to get rid of the disable. Oh wow. I was probably looking for another blue so that I could Zealous Belting and then tear asunder the Anothos, but we draw another Zealous Belting so we can just send 16 next turn. He plays yet another item, which unfortunately for him is too late. The life lead is just way too big of a gap at this point. And he just scoops him up there. So hopefully that taught us a little bit about why we want to be aggressive. To any Dash players out there as well, hopefully you learned from this game. Maybe don't try to set up too many items. You just want to set up a couple and threaten my life total. Put me in a point to where I need to block as well. I believe I drew pretty well that game. There was no turns where I just had 4 blues that didn't do anything. So that also hurts. I do think it's a favored matchup for Bravo, especially these days with all of our good threats. Yeah, so until next time, see you around.